911, do you have an emergency?
Today on Rescue 911, an all-terrain vehicle flips completely out of control.
Whoa! Levi's hurt!
His neck is broke, and this is really, really bad.
One wrong move and the boy could be paralyzed.
I couldn't do anything for him except pray.
We begin on June 11th, 1991, as Ruth Fenwick and her family were finishing dinner in the long summer evening light at their home in a small town near Fairbanks, Alaska. The 11-year-old Levi, the youngest of Ruth's three sons, had just gotten his first ATV the day before.
Levi was, of course, excited because he just got his three-wheeler and he was playing around with that. I went out to check on the horses.
Hey, Tika! Hey, Tika!
Out again. They both broke loose. Here, grab your truck and take off.
Jim stayed at the house while his wife and kids went to search for the horses.
Ruth took off on foot. Jesse and Roman jumped in Roman's pickup truck and took off. And Levi jumped on the three-wheeler and took off.
We went down to the store, it's half a mile down the road, and I was following him on the trail behind the three-wheeler on my truck.
I knew that something was going to happen, and he was going down the trail that fast. His back end kept on bouncing up.
I was just putting the horses away, and I heard Jesse.
Whoa! Whoa! Levi's been hurt! Bad!
He just told me Levi's hurt, he's hurt bad. I was really scared. So all I did is just get going as fast as I could.
He was bleeding hardcore. There was blood all over his face. And then he wasn't breathing. For CPR, you're supposed to straighten him out so they have a clear wind passage. But then I was also worried about his neck, so I figured, well, he's gonna have to breathe, so I grabbed his head and I rolled him back. And then he started breathing real weakly, but there was getting air in his lungs.
Come on, Levi. Levi, you hear me?
And when he didn't move, I knew something was seriously wrong.
When we continue,
I kind of kept pushing it out of my mind that he's not going to make it. I was just helpless. I couldn't do anything for him except pray.
when 11-year-old Levi Ratinsky's ATV flipped and landed on him, he was left unconscious and bleeding on the side of the road. While his older brother Roman tried to keep him alive, their mother ran to tell her husband what had happened.
Jim, Levi's hurt.
I just threw down the tools and everything. I mean, I didn't need to mess around with anything except getting to my kid.
911, police and fire emergency. Yeah, I got a hurt kid out here. Pleasant Valley Road, Two Rivers. I don't know who's beeping tonight. Okay, give me the exact directions on... Pleasant Valley Road, you'll see us in the ditch there. A kid flipped over in a three-wheeler. He's bleeding in the head. He's pretty bad. I'll get him right out there. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.
A Two Rivers rescue unit and an interior ambulance were immediately dispatched, but the ambulance was more than 20 miles away.
I started checking Levi for vital signs and all, checking his arms and everything, and he didn't have any feeling anywhere.
Hello? Hi, this is North Pole Dispatch. I've already got an ambulance on the way out there. Can you tell me how old he is?
He's 12 years old, or 11 and a half, okay? And I can tell you his eyes are dilated. He's got a large bulge. I don't know if his neck is broke or just what.
I just went to him immediately, and he was yelling, my neck, my neck, my neck. And I go, Roman, I go, maybe there's something under there.
I had to tell my mom to back off there. It was kind of difficult because I see the shape that she was in. But, I mean, I made my mind up there. His neck wasn't moving.
Volunteer EMT Tracy Ogden, a close friend and neighbor, came to see if she could help.
When I got there, I lowered his collar and looked at his neck, and in my mind I remember thinking, his neck is broke, and this is really, really bad. I was afraid that maybe it could even be worse than that. I didn't want to believe that, but I was scared, real scared.
Within 10 minutes of the call, Two Rivers Rescue arrived. EMT Tom Narrow was already on the scene.
You want to do everything you can for the child, but all the child knows is they're hurt. And you just want to stop hurting. Pediatric calls are probably the most stressful. A lot of it has to do with the fact that I know what I'd want for my children.
I'm in padding there. All right.
1, 2, 3, down.
All right.
I kind of kept pushing it out of my mind that he's not going to make it. I couldn't handle that. I was just helpless. I couldn't do anything for him except pray.
I just kind of stood there for a second, and there was actually, there was tears in my eyes, and it kind of shocked me. I didn't know if he was going to live at that point.
Levi was transported 35 miles to Fairbanks Memorial Hospital, where he was examined by orthopedic surgeon Ralph Marks.
He flipped his three-wheeler.
From the x-rays, we could see that he had torn everything that holds the neck together, and we don't like to say the word if we don't have to, but he's very, very close to death.
Over here. Dr. Marks was very matter-of-fact. He didn't try to give us any false hopes. He told us this was very, very serious. This is right down where you live, your spine.
He has injured his neck.
And they said we're going to have to go in and operate. And they didn't give us any guarantee at all that he was even going to make it off the operating table.
Okay, somebody get at the head.
He had to be okay. I couldn't accept it. And I didn't want to let him go. I walked with him to the operating room. And I got to the door. It's like the realization that they're taking him off. They wouldn't let me go any further, and I might not ever see him again.
After 3 hours of surgery, Levi was transferred to intensive care.
During the first couple days, Levi was in and out of it. He had a lot of questions like, why can't I move yet? And I was able to explain to him how his brother really helped him and how close it came. And he was astounded. He says, my brother saved my life. And he really wanted to see his brother. He was really moved by that.
4 days passed. Levi began to slowly recover.
I never realized how much I actually cared for him until this happened. Because I've never had anybody that close to me go something through that serious. Life ain't a game, and you kind of got to take things seriously because it's too fragile. And it ain't like you get a second chance at it.
It took real knowledge on Roman's part to try to calm his brother down, to hold his brother's head still. They were really on the edge of the cliff. And what Roman did saved Levi's life. Levi is very fortunate to have gotten the good result he did. Most people don't. And in my opinion, the prevention of the problem is so much better than relying on luck. And the prevention of the problem here was don't ride three-wheelers.
1 month after the accident, Levi surprised everyone by being able to walk out of the hospital.
And I got all my feeling and stuff back, but I'm just weak. That's getting better rapidly. I just really thank Roman that he saved my life. I'm really thankful.
They're brothers, and they fight like cats and dogs, but this brought some real closeness between these guys that'll last a lifetime.